It's another fine day in the forest of Munch and Luncheon. And just listen to those birds singing. How peaceful it is. Yes, very peaceful, except for that woodpecker. That's a very loud woodpecker.
Oh, this is great fun.
Look, it's not a woodpecker at all. It's one of the werebears, Howler. And he's got a couple of stout twigs. He's hitting all sorts of things to try and get interesting sounds out of them. Howler wanders deeper into the forest, looking for anything to make a noise. He's absorbed in his game, and he hasn't noticed something very dangerous. His sworn enemy, that big, clumsy, flat-footed terror-ted Munch, is asleep in a bramble bush nearby. If Howler's drumming wakes him, there'll be trouble.
Oh, this picket fence should make a fine noise. And here's an old tin can or something in this bush. I'll give it a good whack.
Oh dear, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Oh, that's great. I think I'll do it again. That's funny. It didn't do that the last time.
Yes, Howler has hit Munch right on the top of his big, flat, purple head, and Munch isn't too pleased about it.
Oh, my goodness. I've got to get out of here.
Yes, I should think that is a good idea.
I'm gonna get you.
So poor, frightened Howler runs through the forest with that great, hulking terror-ted chasing him. But Howler's only got little legs, and although Munch is clumsy, he can run surprisingly fast. Just listen to his great flat feet pounding on the floor.
Oh, leave me alone.
Some of Howler's forest friends have seen the chase, and they're trying to do something to slow Munch down. They're throwing acorns and conkers. That one hit him right on the head, but he's still after Howler.
Oh, I can't run any faster.
It looks like it's all over for the little werebear. My, what was that? Ah, one of Howler's badger friends ran right across Munch's path and tripped him up. He's gone face first and left a big dent in the floor. At least Howler's gained a bit of distance, but not far ahead is the ravine. The river that flows past Castle Casserole and through the forest runs through the bottom of the ravine, over lots of sharp rocks. And there's an old, rickety-looking rope bridge crossing it high above. Can Howler reach it before Munch catches up?
Oh, maybe if I get across the bridge quickly, I'll find somewhere to hide. Oh, but it's a long way down.
Howler looks over the edge and sees the drop down to the river and the jagged rocks below. And Munch is almost upon him.
I've got you now. There's nowhere to run, you puny little teddy.
Well, Howler has no choice but to try and get across that bridge. But it's so old and creaky, and there are wooden boards missing. One wrong step could send him plunging down far below.
And this board is rotten. My foot's stuck in it. Oh.
Now Munch is standing by the bridge. There's no way back for Howler now. Slowly and carefully, Howler clambers across, with bits of wood creaking and dropping off, and the sound of water rushing over the sharp rocks.
I do hope he falls off. That would be funny.
He's not a very nice person, is he? And one thing I must tell you about Munch, the terror-ted, is that he isn't very clever either. Inside that big purple head lurks a brain the size of a peanut. And a not very big peanut at that. Let's hope he doesn't think of shaking the bridge and knocking Howler off balance.
Hey, I just had a great idea.
Uh-oh. This sounds like trouble.
If I shake the ropes, that stupid bear will fall off. Yes, I'll try that.
So now Munch is shaking the old bridge violently, and it's really falling to bits now. And poor Howler is halfway across and hanging on for dear life.
Oh, the ropes are snapping.
This is fun.
But slowly, inch by inch, Howler is managing to make his way across the bridge without being sent tumbling down onto the rocks.
Phew, I made it. But I'm so tired. I don't know whether I can run any further.
Munch is still shaking the bridge. It's a wonder there's any of it left.
Shake, shake, shake. I'm going to make you fall off, little bear. I'm gonna... Just a minute, where's he gone? Oh, he's gone across after all. Oh, what should I do now?
Well, if Munch has any sense at all, he won't try to cross the bridge himself. He's much bigger and heavier than Howler, and it's been shaken so much it could collapse at any moment.
I know. I'll take a few steps back, and then I'll jump across the bridge in 3 giant strides. Then I'll catch that bear.
Stupid old Munch backs up on the edge of the ravine, ready to run across the rickety rope bridge. And then he runs at the bridge. I can hardly look.
1, 6, no, 4, no.
Oh, goodness, he stopped on his second jump.
I remember now, 2.
But while Munch tries to remember what comes after 1, the bridge finally falls apart, with Munch in the middle.
Oh, gosh, he's going to fall off.
But Munch doesn't fall off. As the bridge breaks up, he grabs at a rope and holds on tight. And when the remains swing towards the wall of the ravine, guess what happens? He hits the rock wall square with the top of his flat head. My, his head sounded like the biggest drum in the world. Now he's trying to get a grip with his fingernails. But he can't hold on. Oh, what a horrid noise. And he's going to hit that big rock.
Whoa, he looks like he's knocked out. But how am I going to get back across the river?
Howler makes his way down his side of the ravine and stands at the edge of the river, where he sees that just a little way downstream, the water is shallow with stepping stones. He crosses over and looks at the unconscious body of Munch.
Oh, he's fast asleep, all right.
And once he's sure that Munch is totally knocked out, Howler picks up a twig and starts to use Munch's head as a drum again.
Oh,
Poor old Munch. He's going to have a terrible headache when he wakes up. Still, it serves him right.